everybody. I'm just so excited to be here because I see the title of the conference, see the work going on nationally, and this notion of elevating and celebrating is so incredibly unconventional in our world, in our ridiculously kind of deficit-based world. So I think it's just extraordinary that you've taken a powerful decision to make that the focus of your day. Is a little piece of paper, and on that little piece of paper there would be an invitation for you to do some reflection. And the reflection would ask you to really bring back into your experience, as if you were really living it, something that had just happened to you recently, right? So I would give you all kinds of prompts about how to bring that into active memory. I'd tell you to feel it, I'd ask you to smell it, I'd ask you what the sounds were, what you felt like. And then I'd ask you to pull out another piece of paper that was in that folder. And the other piece of paper would have a blank, have a little paper clip on it. And I'd say, now grab a pencil and brainstorm as many things as you can think of about what to do with that paper clip, right? And this is what would happen. On this side of the room, there would be about 2, 4, 6 times as many items on the list as this side of the room. Now I promise you, I don't stand outside the room and say, hey, you look like you're really awake this morning and a smart cookie. Sit on the right side. And for those of you who look a little asleep, sit on the left side, please. I don't do that. But what I do is inside those invitations, there's one small difference. On the right side of the room, they had the invitation to reflect on a time when they felt great. They were at their best, they were doing what came naturally, and they were succeeding. This side of the room, which I always have to apologize profusely to, I've asked them to consider something really kind of dreadful. Where did you really flame out? Where were you really disappointed? Where did you really not come through? And what happens is their performance is dramatically different, right? This side is accelerated, they're creative, their thinking is expanded. Oops, I have a clicker here somewhere. Oh, here we go. And we know this is actually supported by research over and over again. Most recently, Barbara Fredrickson has shared with us that indeed, with her broaden and build theory, that positivity increases our creativity, our inventiveness, our big picture thinking, right? And this is shown over and over and over again. So we need help getting around that kind of deficit way of thinking. If we combine what I just shared with you with a really famous insight from William James, seminal psychologist in the 19th century, he says, my experiences are what I agree to attend to, right? So what we decide in the world, not actually what's happening, but really what we attend to in the world. So what we need is help understanding how we can attend to those things that truly help us. Where can we make that shift? What's going to help us do that on a regular basis? So this is exactly the kind of shift we can make in our everyday lives. By knowing what to focus on, by knowing our strengths, by knowing who we are uniquely, we can make a simple shift. Now, I don't think you're going to have to walk around with your head tipped to the left. I'm going to give you a different tool, although that was kind of fun for me to see you all do that, I have to say. The challenge is that we as a whole are actually in the dark. But what we know from the research of so many is that using our strengths changes our degree of engagement and motivation. Cobb has shown us that in the workplace, when people are able to use their strengths, they are significantly more motivated. They are significantly more engaged in their work. We also know from the work of Proctor that not only does it change the way you show up with your engagement and motivation, but you are actually fundamentally transformed in your sense of well-being, not just psychological, but also your physical well-being. In addition, satisfaction and meaning are enhanced when we're able to access at least 4 of our character strengths on a regular basis. Just by doing that, we transform work into something that feels like a calling, right? So it's essential. And not surprisingly then, the research of Forrest and others has shown us that achievement is very highly positively correlated with being able to access our strengths on a regular basis. What are these universal traits that are actually character strengths They're widely recognized, they contribute to our well-being, they have meaning in our lives, and we each show up actually a little bit differently with each one of them. We possess all 24, but we also have a set that are our signature. But they're present with us in varying degrees. So I know a number of you had a chance to take the VIA before you came in today. But here's the thing about your strengths. Hopefully when you look at your own strengths, when you look at that list, you get a sense of optimism. You get a sense of what's possible. You get a sense of when you are at your best. Simply having that knowledge can transform your experience, can transform your day to day. But that really is only the beginning. If we want to think about ourselves as increasingly engaged, motivated, satisfied, achieving, and having a sense of well-being, we have to do something with that. We have to apply those strengths, right? That's the first critical endeavor in making these things happen in your lives. So what I'd like to do is invite you into an activity. So you're understanding some of your strengths. You're thinking a little bit about how to apply them today. So you're going to enhance your experience here. But even better will be if you think about this on Monday, right? And every day thereafter. So in doing this, we're radically changing the possibility for our day today, for our day on Monday, and for our day thereafter by simply shifting the lens of our focus, right? But that's all for us. But I guarantee you, in doing that, you affect the people around you too, right? It's not actually just about us when we think about living through our strengths. So, okay, we are now going to have a little bit of an interactive activity. It's simple again, I promise. No singing. In this room, we are a collection of strengths, right? While I may have 5 as my signature strengths, other people have 5, and collectively we own them all. It's one of the powerful things about teams, and it's certainly something we do when we work with teams, talk about the nature of the collective signature strengths. So I'm going to ask some of you to stand up who possess certain strengths, because we're going to rely on you today for those strengths, right? So in this room, I imagine there are people who have zest. Zest are those people who are fired up and excited. They get us moving. They're infectious with their enthusiasm. Raise your hand if you have zest.
I've got zest.
I was going to say, somebody's got to jump up. You got to start with the zesty people because they're the ones who are going to jump up like that at 8:30 in the morning. So this is part of what it means to share our strengths. You have something else on your tables, another little small piece of paper. It's the one that I referred you to earlier that has the list of strengths. If you want to make someone's day, spot one of their strengths and hand them this card. The truth is, it'll make their day, but it'll make your day because it's going to help you tip your head to the left. It's going to help you see things a little bit differently. So great if you think about it today, even better if you take it back on Monday and think about how to work with your colleagues in that way. So if we can do this for ourselves, if we can do this for our colleagues, what would happen if we thought about it with our students? How might we help them be engaged, be motivated, satisfied, achieving, well-being, and enhance their well-being? We can recognize their character strengths. We can do that on a daily basis. We can inspire them. It can be fundamentally transformative person to person, teacher to student, colleague to colleague, but it's even more amplified if we do that as a community. A whole school focuses on the strengths of the individuals and creates that as a language they share. So obviously all the things I've already shared are possible. In a very practical way, we worked with a school recently, had one of the highest instances of behavior problems in the district, and this is the comment he ultimately made about using strengths. That focusing on them made the need for in-school suspension absolutely obsolete for him and his staff. And we'll circle all the way back up to the top where we began. This notion of if my experience is what I attend to, Then the invitation, the opportunity every day, but certainly today, is what will you attend to today? Is there room to find time to look at the best in yourself? Think about how to make more of it. Is there room to find time, the people in the room, the best of them, and how to make more of it? And is there room then to take that back to all of your buildings and your work on Monday? I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day celebrating and elevating everyone in the room. Thank you so much.